So what's all this? He put himself in some sort of hibernation because he was so sick of getting made fun of for choking in the playoffs. Now we can't wake him up. Have you tried like a Sleeping Beauty thing? What do you mean? You know, kiss him. Oh yeah, low quality Sharks fan insisted on it. What? High quality girlfriend literally lives with us. Why didn't she do it? Like I said, he insisted. Any ideas? I got one. Hey, low qual Bruins fan. We just got a $10,000 commission request. Seriously? Yeah. He needs a professional choke artist. Cause you choke.
I get it! Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub! Oh, God, it's been a long time since we've said that. And it's true. Game 1 of the Prospects Challenge dub. Get it done against the Pittsburgh Penguins, which ironically, the Athletic ranked the Boston Bruins as the 32nd ranked prospect pool in the league. 32. Where are the Penguins? 31. Sounds like we just leaped up a spot. Hell yeah. Leaped. Leapt. Not great. I don't only want to talk about my inability to speak English. Let's talk about this game. We're not going to do a full breakdown of the game because I'm going to be very honest about two things. One, really hard to tell who's who out there when you're not at the arena, especially when the Bruins waited until halfway through the second period to put up the numbers. Yeah, you saw the numbers on the back, but that's a tough stream. Thank you for streaming this year, Bruins. I'm not even going to complain because at least you streamed. But I couldn't tell who was who for a lot of it. I knew Harrison was 72. I forget how I knew that. I knew that Lysell was 23. That was, and Lohrei was 6. Those are the three that I knew. Let's talk about all those guys. The other thing that I have to admit, I missed bits and pieces of the game. There was no rewind for me. The site didn't work like that for me. I don't know if it did for others. And I was at work for some of it, so did my best. This doesn't have to be a long video because we're just going to talk about a couple guys. And let's start with the one that you probably most want to hear about. Fabian Lysell. Lysell was good, I thought. Not great. He showed his speed a couple of times. Not very good defensively. We already knew that, kind of. We already knew, more or less. Offensively. That's what you got to be asking yourself. Is he a guy that can carry the weight offensively? And I saw a few people criticize either him or his line mates. I'm not sure, because the way they phrased it consistently was he needs to get more involved. There's actually 4 or 5 accounts that I saw that I like, accounts that I enjoy listening to on Twitter. Just mentioning he has to get more involved. I thought he was making the right play consistently. NHL plays, finding space, and his line mates kept missing him. Not so much trying to get him the puck, but didn't see the play developing that he was creating. Now, I don't want to act like he didn't actually have plays that affected that he carried the puck in, because on the, I want to say, third goal, him taking the zone, curling back, drawing 2 defenders to him while on the power play, and flinging this to the center of the ice for Merkulov, who found Toporowski for it was a hard angle, but pretty much a wide open net. The tap-in for the third goal. But there were a few plays where it was very evident that Lysell was making a play that the rest of the line mates didn't see. Now, that can still be a knock on him, but there was one in particular I remember. It was just a transition into the offensive zone in the middle of the second period, I believe. And as the puck carrier went into the zone, they pulled up. There was defensemen heading their way, and Lysell slowed way up to a crawl entering the blue line so that space was there. It was a simple play, nothing crazy, but it was him saying, I see the defense in front of me, let me ease up. It's an easy pass back to me on the line, and I will have space to my left to skate and potentially make a play. They forced it in front of the net. The person who was holding the puck, I do not remember which prospect it was, and it resulted in a nothing play. Not the end of the world, but that is an example of the consistency that I saw throughout the game, where he would make a decision to create space and to be available, and they would take in a direction of ice to the net, ice to the net. There's nothing wrong with eyes to the net, but prospects do get caught very often in this ideology that if I get the puck to the net and it goes in, I good. Me good. Coach notice me good. One of the things that Potra really impressed me with in this game, and we'll move on to him next, because Lysell did well. I'd give him a B. We'll move on to Potra. Something he wasn't afraid to do was to pass back, was to take the play that didn't force you to the net. He would pass it to what made the most sense to retain possession in an advantageous situation. I didn't see any suicide passes from him. Nothing went into the skates. Nothing kept the player's head down low. Nothing went into traffic where the player was going to be in danger. Now, passes went into traffic for tip-ins. Harrison's first goal, Potra covers on the right D at the right point to make sure that we're still sound defensively. Receives the puck and in an instant flings it right into the slot where Harrison was taking up space. Harrison was great too. We're going to talk about him. Gets the tip, goes right in. Beautiful play. Heads up. Potra at any given time appeared to know where everybody on the ice was. Opponent, teammate, didn't matter. He understood the positioning of the goaltender. It was very clear that he was trying to wrong foot them at moments. He was trying to make sure that they're going one direction, I'm going the other. He's setting up teammates for exactly that line of thinking. The kid understands. He has an NHL player's brain. Now look, this is game one of the Prospect Challenge. We've seen guys look incredible through the Prospect Challenge and be terrible. We've seen McAvoy just donk all day against prospects and then get called up to the NHL and rip it up. It's two different worlds. We don't know exactly what we're getting, but we can comment on what we're seeing. And Potra not only was creative, his offensive creativity, beautiful, but I was impressed by everything. His 200-foot hustle, constantly moving, constantly creating, great forecheck, great back check, very responsible defensively, no hesitation in the physical areas. Dude's a smaller guy. He got knocked on his ass a few times, got right back up, and usually knocked that guy back on his ass too. He played ferociously, intensely, but with a goal in mind, with a plan that he was following through on. I cannot believe how good he looked with or without the puck. And I feel like a lot of people after this game are looking at what people did with the puck and saying how impressive it was, but they're not looking at these guys away from it. Which is where I think you actually get a much better idea of what prospects are. Potra impressed in every way. Every way. He had a great game. I really cannot stress that enough. Really cannot stress it enough. I was so impressed with what he was putting together. And to move on from him, Brett Harrison. Really good chemistry with Potra. What I was most impressed with him is quick decision making and winning puck battles on the walls, in front of the net, going to the dirty areas. He was a guy who didn't shy away from contact and consistently got the puck away from the mess and then created a play after it. He had 2 goals. One of them was a great tip-in fed by Potra. The other one was a Brunet pass. We're going to talk about Brunet. To Harrison on the right circle during a power play where he unloaded. Unloaded. This is the kind of shot where you look to your dad's seat in the stands and the seat's empty and it just pisses you off, and so you take it out on the goaltender. This was top corner, top shelf, cheddar. All right, sorry, I'm getting all worked up. It was a gorgeous shot. It was brilliant. He was in the right spot. He consistently was in the right spot through this game. Really, really good game for Harrison. Really good decision making. I'm glad they had him on the wing because I don't think he projects to be a true center in the NHL. He is a tough road to get to the NHL. He's still a couple years away, and I don't think everyone's looking at him like a sure thing. I can tell you that much. But man, what a nice game from him. Really, really good. We should talk about some negatives, though. We should. Merkulov is a very quiet game. Didn't seem to get many touches, which is kind of his game. He sets up where he needs to and waits for the puck to get to him at times. He wasn't bad defensively. I don't think he shined or anything like that. But he gets to open space and prepares for the shot. He really didn't get much utilization in this one, though, which was kind of disappointing. Lohrei. Skittish, man. Just really skittish. Felt like this is the first time I've actually seen him skate and agree with people who are like, not a great skater. Looked choppy. Looked like he was struggling to know where he wanted to be on the ice, to know his own positioning. His passes were always off the mark. In the skates, a little too far, a little too close. Not a good passing game from him. Just in general, a lack of confidence in a lot of ways. I was really surprised to see that. Honestly, really was. I didn't expect him to come out here and crush it. And I hope he settles in more for the next couple of games. But not an impressive game for him. And look, he was fine defensively. I wouldn't say he was good, though. Just a lot of, not great. Not great. And kind of a big bummer. Yeah. So quick to get the puck off his stick. And not in a good way either. Just, man, skittish. I think skittish is the only word I can really go with here. Beecher was exactly as advertised. Really responsible defensively. Really responsible. Good defensively. Excellent pursuit of the puck in the defensive zone and in the neutral zone. Really impressed by how often in open ice he could force the other team to make a mistake. I was impressed by that. Gets into the offensive zone, and no matter what play you think he has in front of you, my God, it is bobbles the puck off his stick, passes it way off mark, shoots way off mark. I don't know if it's mental or what, but offensively, total black hole. Total black hole in my opinion. The other stuff is great though. So good in his half of the ice. So good. Not good offensively though. Toporowski, worth mentioning, he had 2 goals. He was fine. He did not stand out at all. If people are putting him in because of the 2 goals, they're putting him up on some sort of pedestal, don't fall for it. Don't do it. Do I think he had a bad game? No. He did not stand out, though. He benefited from an early Callahan pass for a backdoor tap-in less than a minute into the game, and then he benefited from a very similar play where Lysell drew 2 defenders. I've already mentioned this. Chucks it over to Merck, who's walking down Main Street. Defense collapses. Merck passes off to the right for a sharp angle. Wide open net, though. And sure, Toporowski absolutely evaporated that puck into the net. But he didn't make any solo plays. I didn't think he was all that responsible defensively. He didn't create a lot of turnovers. He was just fine. He was fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Being a guy who's putting the puck in the net, you still got to put the puck in the net. I want to compliment him on that. I just think if you're going to look at the box score, you're going to be tricked by how effective he actually was in this game. One other person, well, I'm going to mention Mast was very unnoticeable to the point where I actually don't know if he was on the ice. I watched this whole game, I swear to God. And if you were like, hey, gun to my head, was Mast playing? I don't know. There was no commentators. And maybe he played the opposite side of the ice as the camera, but even the second period, I never saw him. I never saw him. So if you tell me, hey, he actually was held out for this one, I will believe you. This is pathetic. I know. I wish I was in the arena. I wasn't. I live very far from Buffalo. I'm doing my best. Brunet. Frederick Brunet. Some people seem to think that he did well, and they like him. And those people are smart. Those are smart analysts. I don't know what they saw, and I'm really looking forward to talking to them about it, because he did get an assist on the last goal of the game on Harrison's blast, which was fine. Harrison was wide open. This wasn't like a challenging play. Brunet consistently turned it over in our zone and the offensive zone. He got dusted on the Penguins' second goal, where guy just went right around him, took out our goalie, and then the ensuing play happened and they scored. I don't know how that was legal, but I don't fucking care about the score. Who cares? I do. I want to win. But he was not good. We saw very little of his offensive talents in this one. His shots consistently weren't getting past the first man. Yeah, nothing there to report that I thought was impressive, and he looked terrible defensively. Like, completely out of position consistently. Looked lost. I have no clue. I really don't know what people saw that they liked out of him in this game. I really don't. So, hey, look, there's pockets I missed. There's a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Missed the first 6 minutes of the second period. So, maybe there was a play or two in there, but whew, I saw a lot of bad. A lot of bad. Not his time there. These guys aren't under a rush. Brunet wasn't making the team this year. Now, he wants an AHL contract, so he's not going back to the queue, I think, if I've got that right. So, there's that, but this isn't a, hey, these are who these players are. This is game 1 of the Prospect Challenge. But I gotta say, Potra and Harrison, and I'm looking forward to seeing Lysell wake up a little more. Not wake up, be involved a little more. Have people feed him correctly, because I really do feel like he could have made a few plays if they saw the same thing he saw, if they saw the play developing. NHL plays, in my opinion, developing. Lohrei, I'm hoping, has a little bounce back in game 2. And then Merck, I'd love to see a little more of. And Ryan Mast. I'm just curious what Mast is going to bring. Other than that, there's no one that I would point out as good or bad. Ethan Ritchie had a couple big hits. Callahan had that nice assist in the beginning, but very quiet. Peterson was very quiet. It's not a lot to report from really any of the invites. The goaltending wasn't impressive by any means. It was solid, I would say. So, not a lot to report outside of the ones I've already mentioned. But that is a good start. And I'm having fun. I'm just having fun. Because hockey's back. What do you have to say? Who has more fun than us? Go Bees. Go Bees!